All right. We will just let everybody else come in as they do. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is Erin O'Brien. I'm a Thermomix consultant and team leader based in Druin in Victoria. But tonight I'm here with my team, the Mix Masters, to bring you guys a spring cooking virtual cooking experience. So we thought it would be a really great opportunity to provide you with some new ideas and inspiration for some beautiful spring, fresh, healthy meals, and using some beautiful in-season ingredients as well. So thank you so much for joining us. I'd love you to pop in the chat box tonight where you are watching from. And do you have a Thermomix? And if so, what model? Pop it in there and let us know. We've got 3 or 4 of us cooking tonight, but we do also have some of our other consultants in the chat box. So please, if you don't mind, just stay on mute. I'll pop all of your questions, anything that you want to know in there, any questions about recipes, anything Thermomix related, the girls will help you out as we are cooking. So tonight I am going to get us started and I'm going to cook a couple of things for us tonight. But the first one I'm going to start with is a beautiful focaccia. Has anyone made a focaccia before with their Thermomix? Something I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised about, again, how easy it is. It's just often one of the things that we talk about on these virtuals, isn't it? So I've already got it planned out into my week. You'll see all of the different things we're going to cook there. But I am going to scroll down to focaccia. So like always, if we wanted to, we could scroll down and have a look. Perhaps the hints and tips in this recipe does tell you about a couple of variations that are delicious to the focaccia. So you could, it's telling us you could fry off a little bit of red onion in the olive oil to add to the top, add some sun-dried tomatoes in the dough, or top it with a bit of grated parmesan as well. So a few different ideas and hints there, but otherwise we are going to hit start cooking. I had a recipe open, so it's just confirming that I do want to get out of that, which obviously I do. And so it's starting us with lightly greasing a large bowl and a large piece of reusable wrap or cling film and setting that aside, which I have already done. And into the bowl now we are going to place 500 grams of baker's flour. Oops, I press next instead of tear there. So I'll just grab a very large container of baker's flour here. Does anyone else buy their baker's flour in bulk? We make lots of beautiful fresh breads and bread products with our Thermomix. The kids all love it. So I do get quite a big bag of baker's flour from Costco when I go down there. So I'm just going to take a little bit out there. I can see you. So after that 500 grams, we're going to put a teaspoon of sugar. Next again, and then 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. This dough is a little bit different to some of the other doughs that you might make with the Thermomix. You will see once it's finished kneading that it is quite a sticky dough, which is, a bit different to a lot of our usual breads. So 30 grams of olive oil. Next again, and then 350 grams of warm water. So tell us, guys, hop in the chat box and let us know what's brought you along to tonight's class. Are you a regular on our team virtuals each month? Are you here for some new ideas and inspiration? Are you thinking about getting a TM6 and you want to learn a bit more? Hop in there and let us know. And then a teaspoon of salt as well. Next, we're going to pop the lid on. Next again, and now we're just going to combine that. So it's got it set for us at 20 seconds on speed 6. Having a quick look at the chat there. So we've got a few watchers from all over Victoria, all different corners of Victoria by the looks of that. Niva and Nita. Isn't that the great thing about the virtual world? So now we're going to knead it. So you'll see our wheat symbol there is our kneading symbol. So now it's 2 minutes of kneading. Yeah, it's the great thing about the virtual world, and obviously our team in particular is pretty much all over Victoria, but these classes give us the ability to all come together and give you guys some new ideas and inspiration, which we absolutely love, and that you guys can relax on the couch while we do it. So 2 minutes of kneading in your Thermomix is equivalent to about 20 minutes of hand kneading. So I don't know about you guys, but I've got 5 young kids and lots happening, and I don't have time to do 20 minutes of hand kneading. So this is going to achieve those same results to give us beautiful, fresh, fluffy doughs in only 2 minutes. Who's making breads and doughs with their Thermomix at the moment? Pop in the chat box and let us know what you're making. Our favourites at the moment are pizza scrolls. The kids are loving those in their lunch boxes. Cheese and bacon rolls. And we're very excited that it's coming back into pizza season down here in Victoria with our outdoor pizza oven. So we've got pizzas on the menu this time for the first time in a little while, which is nice. Lisa's popping in the chat box that she loves cheese and bacon rolls. Yeah, so good. Very popular here too. Anybody else? Anyone else making any breads and doughs with the kneading mode? Definitely one of the most used modes in our house. I'm just going to get out my pre-proof dough while that's finishing off there, just ready to show you. The 5 seed bread. Yeah, I haven't made that one for a while actually. There. Yes. Fruit toast, hot buns. So much bread. So easy to make, isn't it? So such a good money saver, some of those, especially some of those lunchbox snacks. Right, got about 10 seconds left on that. And that is done. So now it's telling us to transfer that to our prepared bowl, our oiled bowl that we oiled before. So I've got one of these ones. These are just like a nesting bowl set from the mix shop. They come with a lid as well, which is really handy, but it's perfect for proofing doughs. This is the largest of the lot of them. You can grab those from the mix shop. So that is our beautifully kneaded dough, but you will see if I how you can see how sticky it is. So yeah, it is a lot stickier than most doughs. So you can just use your spatula to kind of pull it out a little bit and then just kind of let it drop out. It's going to be just that little bit harder to get out than some of your regular breads, that's all. But you haven't done anything wrong. Don't be worried if your focaccia dough is a little bit sticky. That is normal and what we want to achieve there. All right. So then it's just telling us to, I've got most of it off there, but the actual recipe is now telling us to pop the bowl back on. And, excuse me, sorry, 5 seconds on speed 6. So we're going to flip all that dough off the blade, off the base, to make it even easier to get what is left out. So then just scrape out excess dough and add to the bowl. So you can achieve that same kind of thing there. So it's flipped it all off the blade. It's easy for me to get out there. Achieve that same thing when you're doing any bread recipes. If you're finding that your dough is a little bit stuck around the blades, you can use, well, that had 5 seconds on speed 6, or you can use the turbo function as well, the turbo mode. So just a couple of seconds on turbo will achieve exactly the same thing of flicking all that dough off the blades for you. So now I've got it stuck all in the bowl there. And it's telling us to cover the bowl with reusable wrap or cling film. I'm just going to use the lid in this instance, and then leave it to rest until it's doubled in size, about 1 to 2 hours. Towards the end of the rising time, grease a large baking tray. And then, here's one I prepared earlier. So you can see that that has, how am I going to get it there? More than doubled in size. So a hot little tip that I did tonight, actually, we made the family chicken galette for dinner off cookie dough. And after I cooked that, the oven had been off for a little while, but was still a little bit warm. So I put the dough into the oven, oven off and still covered. And it is beautifully risen because it is a lot warmer in there than it is not in the oven tonight in beautiful springtime in Victoria. So that is sped up that proofing time dramatically for me. And so now it's telling us, to spread the dough out on the baking tray with the aid of an oiled spatula. So I'm just going to grab my tray and I'm just going to dip my spatula in a little bit of oil, and that will help me get it off the cling wrap as well. Actually didn't oil the cling wrap. I missed that step when I was hurrying to get ready before this. So it did tell me to. So make sure you oil your cling wrap so that it's a little bit easier to get off. Right, so then we're going to tip that. Can you see that all right there? Tip that out onto the tray. And I'm using one of the rose gold oven trays with the liners. They're from the Mix Shop as well. They're my absolute favourite. I'm just going to dip that spatula in the oil again. Absolute favourite for anything baking, really. So you can see, even though that dough is really sticky, just dipping your spatula in the oil helps it spread out evenly. You can see that okay. So from there, we are going to leave that to proof for about another 30 minutes. And then we're going to add the toppings on, which is just a little bit of tomato, rosemary, oil, and some salt before baking it. So we'll come back to that in about 30 minutes, and that'll give us time to then pop it in the oven to cook. But there we go. That's the, I suppose, the hard, maybe, not that it was hard, harder part of making focaccia done already in that amount of time. So I'll pop that aside and keep an eye on the time. And then I'm actually going to cancel out of my recipe. We'll come back to all of this a little bit later. So I'm just going to go to the 3 little dots next to the next and select cancel recipe. I can hit yes. And then I'll show you afterwards that actually stops the recipe at that point, and we can access it again via recently cooked. So if you're cooking this at home, you can go and make your main now and then come back, go into recently cooked, and it will take you to the recipe and where you left off to finish it afterwards. So now back into my week, and I am going to pick our next recipe, which is a tagliatelle with pea pesto and poached eggs. Has anyone made this recipe before? Absolutely delicious. These are coming in season in spring, so this is why I picked this one. And yeah, beautiful basil, a beautiful fresh recipe with some fresh ingredients. So the first step is using a vegetable peeler to peel the zest of a lemon and then squeeze the lemon juice and set aside. And into there now we are going to place 3.5 ounces of Parmesan cheese. So this recipe is in ounces. I'm just going to roughly chuck there. And obviously your Thermomix will automatically adjust to that for you. So you don't have to do any calculations or worry about that. The scales will automatically flick over to ounces. Popping the lid on, and now I've got 10 seconds on speed 10. Zoom will mute me out for this because it is quite noisy, but I'll talk to you in 10 seconds. Like I said before, guys, if you do have any questions as they're going, please don't hesitate to pop them in the chat box. The girls are all there to help you with any questions you have. So that has grated that Parmesan up beautifully, that 10 seconds for us. So now it's just telling us to scrape down the sides. And then next again. So into there, we're going to place 7 ounces of peas. It says fresh or frozen. Tonight I've used frozen. I won't dip them all in because we use some in the actual pasta afterwards as well. Next, 1 ounce of fresh basil. Does anyone else love pesto? I'm obsessed with the fresh pesto. It's so easy to make with your Thermomix, and there's just nothing better, I don't think, than a beautiful, beautiful fresh pesto. All right, so that's about an ounce there of fresh basil, and then 5 sprigs of fresh mint, the leaves only. Just don't want to put the stalks in there. And then 1 garlic clove to taste. And then 4 ounces of olive oil. And then we're going to pop that zest that I had done before we came on. And 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Can you imagine the mess that I've got going behind the camera here as I move around? And 2 pinches of black pepper as well. I'm going to pop the lid back on, and you might see now, hopefully you can see, this is the blend symbol. So this is accessing the blender mode of our Thermomix. So I've got 30 seconds on blending. You probably won't hear me over this either. All right, so that's obviously just blended that all up for us. Beautiful fresh pesto. So we're going to place that back into a bowl and set it aside for the time being. And keep going. So next it says to rinse the mixing bowl. I'm just going to skip on past that actually. Oh no, I'm not. So doing it. Change my mind. I'll just grab another bowl. Who's got more than one bowl with their Thermomix? Pop in the chat box and let me know. So now it's telling us to line a plate with paper towel and set aside. And then crack 3 large eggs into separate bowls and set aside. Place the varoma into position just for a minute. So we don't even need the lid for the minute. We're just using it to weigh for the time being. And into there 3 ounces of fresh green peas. Popping that aside. And now we're going to put in our blade cover peeler, which is a peeler as well. So that is the blade cover. Who's got a blade cover? Pop it in the chat box and let me know. So that just sits over the top of the blade, literally, essentially exactly what's a blade cover. So it just goes over the top and pushes on. That way. So sitting in there like so. There is a little instructional video on the screen of your Thermomix. So they're adding more and more of these little instructional videos all the time to show exactly what you need to do in different steps. So as you can see, that is showing you exactly how to position that in case you're new to having one or you had any issues with it, you can use that. And into there now we are going to place 60 ounces of water. So this recipe actually just uses just normal tap water. I've just boiled it just to save us a little bit of time. because the next step is heating that water. So if I pre-boil it, I can just cut down the heating time a little bit. So next again, a half an ounce of lemon juice or white vinegar. I like to use white vinegar for my eggs. So we're just preparing a little bit of poaching water for our poached eggs. And now we're going to pop the lid on with a simmering basket on the top. And it says here 15 minutes of aroma, reverse speed 1. I'm just going to watch it and see, because it won't take anywhere near that long because of the water already been boiling. So we'll come back in a few minutes and continue on. But now we're going to go and see Charlotte.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlotte. I'm Home Baker Mum on Facebook and Instagram. I'm based in Darnham, which is just near Warragul, Gippsland. I'm going to make a chicken butter bowl tonight with the, I'm going to do all the veggies through the cutter. Move my screen down. So I've just saved it into my week. It is a cookie dough recipe. Sorry, the lighting is terrible in my house. You probably can't even see the screen. So it's a chicken butter bowl, and then it's got the Thermomix cutter. So I'm just going to go start cooking, and basically it's just going to cook the rice first, and then we're going to move on to the chicken, and then I think we'll do the veggies last, and then the sauce. So I'll get the rice cooking. So it's just saying to add a litre or 1,000 grams of water. So straight into there. And we'll just go next. And it's saying to add salt, which I always do a boiled rice recipe in this. I never add the salt and I never add the olive oil. So I'm just going to skip that. And then it's saying to insert your simmering basket. So pop that one in. So that comes with your Thermomix when you order it. And then 250 grams of long grain rice. I've just got some, I think this is jasmine rice. So just tear those scales. And then just flip that shut. Now you can rinse your rice if you want to. At this point, take it over to the tap and rinse it. I'm not going to do that. Pop the lid on, and then that's just going to cook for 15 minutes on speed 4 at 100 degrees.
Excellent. Thank you, Charlotte. All right, we'll come back in that 15 minutes when that rice is finished, but now we'll go over and see Jess.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess. I am Thermolife on the farm, and I am actually based in Kaniva, so I'm at the opposite end of Victoria to the other girls. I am making some chicken gyros tonight. So like the others, I go into my week, and I've already put it in here in my meal plan. And it's, again, another cookie dough recipe. So it's the chicken gyros with tzatziki. So just click on start cooking. Now, first off, we're going to make the seasoning for the chicken. So it wants all the spices to be placed into another, it says an airtight container, but for the moment, I'm just going to pop it in a bowl. A good tip is to turn your lid upside down, and then your bowl will sit nicely on top. So in here, we need 2 teaspoons of paprika. I mean, is anyone else making all their spice blends from scratch now? 3 teaspoons of cumin, this one. I'm finding that we can actually tailor them to all our needs, so the kids don't find them too spicy or anything like that. A teaspoon of garlic powder. A tablespoon of dried parsley. little bit much, that's okay. And a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And then a teaspoon of sea salt. So I love this, that if there was a spice that you don't like, or this one doesn't have chili in it, but you can add chili if you want to. But you'll see in there all the spices are in there, so we'll just mix it up. Because it just says to mix them all into a container. There we go there. And our spice blend is done. Simple as that. So we can set that aside. And then continue cooking. So now we're going to make.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I might just quickly pop my eggs on and then we'll come back to the tzatziki.
Yeah, go
is that
for
all
it.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, just because the water is boiling here. So I'm just going to pop the eggs on. I don't know if you can hear that bubbling away, but it's certainly boiling. So it has been quite a while, but that's just for letting Jess finish that spice mix. So I'm just going to stop the Thermomix. We don't need that full 15 minutes, like I said. So just pressing the button to stop. It does allow 15 seconds to cool down as a safety feature. So we'll just do that little cool down. It's not going to make a huge difference to our egg cooking by any means. And then we're going to go to next. So now it's just telling us to remove the simmering basket. Obviously be careful because that is hot. And set it aside. And now it says, once the water is boiling, quickly add reserved eggs to mixing bowls, sliding the eggs to opposite sides. Once the eggs are added, then place the simmering basket back onto the mixing bowl lid and cook for 3 minutes. So I'm just going to quickly pop my eggs in. So obviously your blade cover is stopping your eggs from hitting the blades. So it's sitting in there and it's almost acting more like a pot. You know, there's a bit of whirl going from the blades moving underneath the blade cover, but the eggs aren't actually able to touch it. Hopefully I'm explaining that okay. So now I've just got 3 minutes of cooking time for that. The blades are running on reverse at speed 1, and we'll come back after they're finished and see how they went. We'll go back to Jess to make her tzatziki.
All right. So now we'll go on with the tzatziki. We need to, oops, I skipped on, have a look. So we start off, we need 1 garlic clove. Now, normally I like to measure garlic with my heart and put in a lot more, but I have learnt the hard way that with garlic, if you're having something like a dip, always follow the recipe. If you're making something that you're cooking the garlic, put in as much as you like, but 1 will be plenty in this. Just pop the lid on, and we're just going to do 5 seconds on speed 7, so it might look. All right, is anyone making any dips in their Thermomix? They're so good. They're coming into summer. So that's our garlic clove all chopped up there, all spread up the side. So we're just going to push it all down, back down the bottom to the blades. And continue on. So now we need 100 grams of cucumber. So this is the Lebanese cucumber, just cut up into pieces. Perfect. All right. We'll pop that lid on again, and now we're just going to do 5 seconds on speed 6. I'll just show you there, it's chopped up the cucumber really nicely. So again, we'll just push it all back down to the bottom. And now we're going to add in 250 grams of Greek yogurt. So you could halve the recipe. This will make a lot of the dip, but we'll have it with our gyros, and then we'll also just be able to have it. The kids will have it for afternoon tea and that sort of thing with some biscuits or some carrot and celery, which will be yum. All right, go on. So we'll put in a little bit of salt. There's a 1/4 teaspoon. and then half a teaspoon of dill, dried dill. That in too. Lid on. Now it's just doing 10 seconds on speed 3. That's just mixing it all and combining it all together now. So that's the tzatziki done. I'll show you here now. See there? So we've made a lot of it as well. And so we just need to pop that aside in another bowl, and you'll find too that as it sits there, the flavors will really develop and it'll be delicious. How are you going with your eggs,
Yeah,
Erin?
great. We'll just
I was
come back
probably
here
too
for
quick.
just a second. No, that was actually perfect timing. I have just taken the lid off so that I don't cook the next place as well. I've just started taking it out of the water because I didn't want it to overcooked. I don't know about you guys, but I love a runny poached egg, so I don't want it sitting there overcooking. But you can see that hopefully is beautiful poached egg there for us. So we will continue on. We've already got the other one out too. So it says to remove the eggs with a slotted spoon and place it on that plate with the paper towel to drain and keep warm. And now it's just telling us with the poaching water still in the mixing bowl and obviously leaving the blade cover in there as well. We're just going to pop the lid back on with the basket back on, and now just give it a 3 minutes on Varoma speed 2, just speed 1, sorry, just to warm it back up a little bit again. So I'll just quickly come back to you, Jess, and then I'll just interrupt in a second if that's all right, if you're ready.
All right.
You ready?
So,
or you got a bowl wash?
Yeah, no, all good. No, I don't need to do a bowl wash. I'm meant to, but like you did, I'm just going to swap out bowls. So there we go. Now what we need to do is place the bowl onto the top, the mixing bowl lid, like so, and we're just going to place in our chicken. So I'll just show you there. That's the dip that we've made. So we've made that much, which is a lot for the wraps. So we'll definitely have some left over. Now I've already cut my chicken into strips here. So I will just pop that in the top. So we need 500 grams. Should be about right. I didn't pre-measure it. So it's 596. That'll be fine. Then we need to put in 30 grams of our seasoning. And we'll pop that on top. As I said, if you wanted to add some chili or anything like that to it, you definitely could. Or if you don't like spice that much, you can leave it out. All right, I'm just going to tip it all in. That was about the 30 grams. Anyway, and then we need 40 grams of olive oil. We'll measure that straight in there too. It's coming out really slowly. The slowest olive oil ever. All right, there we go. And now we're just going to stir to combine it. So I'm going to show you there. It's all just in, and we'll just stir it all in now. So now, take the lid off again. Now we're going to pop in 60 grams of brown onion. Are you right for me to keep going, Erin?
Yeah, just finished
cool.
up to your high heat there. Thanks.
All right. So pop in the onion and then some olive oil again. Okay. Now I'm just going to pop the simmering basket on top. we're going to fry off the onion. Get that going in. So it's just going to do 2 minutes at 120 degrees.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. All right, while that is cooking, we'll just quickly come back to me and just add in the pasta. So that was perfect timing. So into there now, that water has reheated. It's 6 ounces of like the tagliatelle pasta. I've just used a little mess. Put some on the ground. Next, we're going to place the varoma on the top. You know how we weighed our peas in before? We're just going to sit that on the top so they can cook as the pasta does as well. So now it's just telling us to set the time indicated on the pasta packet, because obviously everything's going to be a little bit different. So it's 10 minutes, and then it's got reverse speed. Oh, too far. Reverse speed, spoon speed. And while I've got you quickly, I'm just going to get that focaccia into the oven too. So I'm going to bring it back. It hasn't quite been the 30 minutes, but that is okay. So now we are going to just get a little bit of olive oil and just pop it on our fingers and just give it a little bit of a push. Can you see that all right? Just make some little finger indents in it. I don't know if you can see how cloud-like it is there. It's beautiful. So it'll create there's some little bubbles popping up as I do that. Very satisfying. And then we are just going to top that. And this is the part where you can change it around if you want to, but top it with some cherry tomatoes. And then I'm just going to give it a bit of a sprinkle with some rosemary, a little bit of salt and a little bit more olive oil. And then I'm going to pop it in the oven for about 20 minutes until it's cooked. So we'll head back to Jess. She'll get that chicken cooking and then we'll keep rolling.
All right, perfect timing. There we go, just finished there. So we've just done a bit of a fry up of those onions, but that's only 2 minutes. So we haven't cooked them too much there. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to pop in 250 grams of our chicken. So that's our chicken all mixed up and with the spice on it. So we'll just measure in 250 grams. So about half of it is what we want to put in. All right. Now it's really important when you're using the high heat mode, which we're about to, that you just want to make sure you spread out the chicken like that. So you just want it around the blade so it's all touching the bottom. Rather than just being lumped on one side, it just won't cook as well. All right, so we'll go next. Now, because we're using the high heat, which is exclusive to the TM6, we just need to use the splash guard. So this, I suppose, reminder will come up every time to put the splash guard on. We just click through that and we put on the high heat. So now the splash guard's on the top. We can't actually access the top of the lid there, just as another safety mechanism. I'm not sure if you can hear, but the blades are initially turning now, but they've just stopped turning. And now the heat will start and the meat gets to like brown on the bottom, just mimicking a fry pan. So it'll sizzle away, and to ensure that it doesn't burn, the blades will kick in and give it a bit of a stir, but then they'll stop again. So this will just cook now for the next like 5.5 minutes at 160 degrees.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. We'll come back and see you a little bit later. We're going to head back to Charlotte now, who's going, that rice should be well and truly finished. Sorry, Charlotte. Oops. I don't do that.
Yeah, it only just finished, like maybe 10 seconds ago. So perfect timing again. All right, so I'm just going to use my spatula. So that went for 15 seconds, and you can drain it if you want to like this. Just let it sit there. It does say to remove the simmering basket with the aid of the spatula and then rinse under cold water. Divide rice among 4 serving bowls and set aside, and then rinse the mixing bowls. Rinse the mixing bowl. I'll do that when not on camera, but I'll grab another bowl and go on with the next step. So rinse my mixing bowl, and we're going to do a table. So I think we're going to do the chicken now. So a tablespoon and a half of soy sauce. I've just got the light soy sauce. I find it not so salty. I'm just going to wing that. About a tablespoon and a half, and then 3 teaspoons of toasted sesame oil. I don't know that this is toasted, but just sesame oil. And I'm just going to put about a teaspoon in because I find this really strong flavour. And then it says 250 grams of skinless chicken breast fillets cut into long strips, which is what I did before. So nice and easy. This was just 1 chicken fillet. And I'm going to put that in. 260, that's okay. And then place simmering basket instead of measuring cup on mixing bowl lid. And then we're just going to put that on reverse speed half for 8 minutes. And I'll just go grab my simmering basket for the top. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Charlotte. All right, so now we're going to go see Eva. We haven't seen Eva yet tonight. Oh, I'm replacing again.
Hi, my name's Emer and I'm coming to you from Thorpsdale in the Green Hills in West Gippsland, and I'm Bread Dirt Road Life on Instagram for those of you who don't know me. And tonight I'm making the sweet potato, parsnip and broccoli frittata. And this recipe is actually in the Thermomix savings guide, which yeah, you can access via the website or your consultant can send to you, and it's got lots of like lovely seasonal recipes in there and low cost recipes. So yeah, so we're going to make the flavors of the potato, parsnip and broccoli are just beautiful together, and they're all in season at the moment, which is great. So yeah, so just start cooking. Just to preheat the oven to 190. I've greased a big dish. So this is our Fira cast iron dish. You can get on the mix shop, and this is what I'd use for a frittata, and I've oiled it all up. So we'll pop it in there later. And it does ask you to grate up 100 grams of parmesan, but I've actually already done that in my cutter. I had a big block of parmesan and I grated it using the cutter, and that's on the thin setting. So it's nice and thin, and you can probably see there a little, so it's already full. So we'll just skip past that. And if you do a lot at the same time, you can use it over the course of a whole week. So the first thing to pop in is 200 grams of sweet potato. So I've cut them all into cubes, and it's just going to cut it up a little bit so actually all of the vegetables stay kind of chunky in the frittata, which is really nice. 200. And then we've got 250 grams of the broccoli. And then we've got a whole parsnip. So I've cut the parsnip all up. We've got a lovely fresh parsnip today. It's nice to see them in the shops because you don't see them too often in there. And then you pop it lid on, and it's going to blitz it up for 3 seconds on speed 7. So it's just going to chop it up that little bit more. And so it kind of, it leaves some of them a little bit chunky, and some of it is a little bit more cut up there. And then we pop in 8 eggs. So we've got lots of eggs from our chooks. So I've cracked all of these through, but it's a good time of year to also get all your eggs in, because especially if you have chickens, because there'll be lots of eggs. And then we pop in 6 60 grams of whole grain mustard. And just also with these containers, I use these containers to make yogurt. They're quite good to have afterwards. And if you soak them in vinegar, it'll get rid of the odor. And so if you pop it in the sink for a little while, get rid of the odor, like the ginger, garlic, mustard, they're all kind of in those jars. They're really good jars to use for making your own yogurt, and they fit in the top of the Verona. So I don't know if anybody makes their own yogurt in the Thermomix, but we love doing it. I know Erin loves doing it. And then we pop a teaspoon of salt in. And some black pepper. And then 60 grams of milk. You can probably see I'm just weighing it all out as I go along. Super easy. And then we put that reserve parmesan in. Because I've done it earlier, I'm just going to hop out of the recipe for a minute and just go across to the scales so that I can weigh it in. Yeah, I pretty much had it anyway. So add a little bit less than one. And then we pop the measuring cup in. And we did 30 seconds speed 3 on reverse.
Well, that's doing its quick little thing there. I'm not going to change the camera, but I am just about to, my pasta is finished. So I'm just going to transfer the peas to a different bowl and then use my Varoma to drain my pasta. So make sure you're not creating any more dishes, guys. Your Varoma is so handy for all kinds of different things, but it is a great colander too. So I'm going to use that to drain my pasta, and then I'll come back at the end and put it all together.
All done, and I'll just scrape down the sides a little bit. I'll show you it's all combined up, and it's as simple as that. And this is this is great for meal batching. If you're just making a bunch of things in a row, it's nice and quick, and you can get everything into the oven. And we'll just pop it into that baking dish there. And basically, yeah, because the cheese is already in it, it's all ready to go. So spread it out. I feel like this dish is a pretty perfect size for it, actually, because it'll rise a bit with all of the eggs that are in it. And if you wanted to sprinkle herbs on top or something, you can do that as well, and finish it off with some herby flavors. And then it says to bake for 30 to 45 minutes at 190. And then, yeah, if you can use the sensor if you like as well, to make sure it gets to the right temperature and it cooks through. And I'll be using this with the coffee cakes in a little while as well. Yeah, and so we'll have a look at that when it's done.
Awesome, thanks, Emma. Hey, Jess, have you put on your second lot of high heat? So Jess is just going to
Not yet.
repeat that step shortly. Emma will be in Emma will be in the middle of her cake, so we won't come back at the time. But oh yeah, it is done.
So that's my first lot.
Yeah.
That I've cooked. So you can see it's all nicely browned off there. I'm just going to pop that into my thermoserver I have here. So if you guys don't have a thermoserver already, they're a host reward, which you can get from inviting, having a demo and inviting friends along. So I'm going to pop that in here to keep warm, and I'm going to cook the second lot of the chicken on the high heat mode.
Awesome. So it's just exactly the same thing again. She just
Exactly
adds
the
it in with a
same.
little bit of oil. So we don't need to watch that again, but Emma's going to keep cooking along. She's going to make a quick cake. And then we are going to head over to Charlotte, who's going to use the cutter to finish off her salad, and then we'll be all done. So I think we'll probably maybe run about 10 minutes over, guys. I hope that's okay. I'll stick that up.
Yep, so we're making a blueberry coffee cake. It has a streusel with it as well, so it's like a topping that goes halfway through the cake and on the top of the cake. It's like a nut, sugar, buttery topping, like crunchy kind of topping to go in amongst it as well, which is really nice. So we start by preheating the oven to 180. I love how the Thermomix tells you all the steps. And then we grease the pan. So I've just greased round one tonight. But you can also use the one I really like to use and would work really well is the bundt as well. But my oven's actually not working at the moment. I would just pour it straight in here if it was working, but yep. And this is my favorite one. You can see it's just such good quality, which I like too. And that's really nice for Christmas cakes and things like that. But yeah, this cake would be ideal for that. So it takes 70 grams of sugar. And then 60 grams of brown sugar. So this is making that streusel topping. It's going to be crunchy and caramelly, and it'll have nuts in it. And you can actually make your brown sugar in the Thermomix as well. You can use raw sugar and molasses to make brown sugar. So you actually don't need to be buying all the different sugars. You can make most of it from your raw sugar. And then 2 tablespoons of butter. Which is about 60 grams. And it's good if the butter is hard to make the streusel because it's just going to form into little lumps, and then when the cake cooks, it'll be all buttery in different parts. So I'll go add a bit again and just weigh it to get the 60 grams. Oh, really there. Okay. And then we pop 30 grams of flour in it. And then we have a teaspoon of cinnamon. Quarter teaspoon of salt. And it does say a pinch of ginger and a pinch of nutmeg, but I have some different spices here, so I was going to put a pinch of the allspice in. And I'm going to put a pinch of wattle seed in, which I really like. It gives like a nice coffee kind of flavor, a little bit, just a hint of it. So you can, change to suit your taste. And then you pop it all in. And it's 10 seconds to pour. And then scrape down the sides with a spatula. It doesn't really need it. And you can probably see all of the butter is just like a little lump amongst everything else. And it's just going to do 5 seconds before again. And then we pop 30 grams of pecan nuts, it says, but we have walnuts here that needed using up, so I've been using walnuts, and they make a good substitution. So 30 grams. Okay. Few seconds before. It's only chopping them up a little bit, so there'll be like a kind of a crunchy nut topping on top of the cake. And that's what it looks like there. A bit like when you do a crumble, something like that. And so that'll go, yeah, halfway through the cake, you sprinkle that in, and then on the top. And now we start making the actual cake. We start off with 170 grams of plain yogurt. You don't have to clean the bowl or anything, so that's good. All those flavors will just pop into the cake anyway. And then 60 grams of vegetable oil. Then we go back to the sugar again, 170 grams of sugar. This is definitely a sweet cake, so one for maybe the afternoon, or and then we go a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Vanilla extract was actually made in a Thermomix. One of my lovely customers, Sharon, she made it vanilla paste and vanilla extract to me, and she dropped it at my front door. How nice is that? She showed me her whole setup, how she made all of her vanilla. And then we do 2 large eggs. I don't know if you can see, but we've got a big basket of eggs there from our chooks. They're just laying so much. I think it was about 20 eggs today that I got off them. So it's good to be able to use them all in all this spring baking. And then 215 grams of flour. Just says all-purpose flour, so good cake flour would be good. And a teaspoon of baking powder. And then half a teaspoon of baking soda. So that's going to make it nice and frothy. There's a bubbly, spongy kind of texture to the cake. And then we do half a teaspoon of salt. And then it's asking for a pinch of nutmeg, but I'm just going to do a little pinch of allspice. And time to get it all together. 15 seconds before. And then it's asking us to plate so that the batter is all, essentially the cake batter is nearly ready to go. Then it's asking us to weigh 285 grams of blueberries into a bowl on the top, and I've actually already done that and let them defrost a little bit. And then it says to add 15 grams of flour to this, which never really seen this in a recipe before, like any cake recipe. And then, just to give it a stir with a spatula, so it's going to soak up some of the juices, and it might help it absorb into the cake. Where, you know, there might be a way of the blueberries not letting so much in the cake. Maybe that's the tip here.
I think it stops them sinking as much to the bottom, doesn't it, as well?
Oh, is that right? Oh, there you go.
I believe so. I believe that's part of the reason.
I thought I just spooked it earlier today. So yeah, so then it says to just pop the blueberries into the batter. And give it a stir.
Emma, we might jump over to Charlotte while you're stirring that up, just so I'm just conscious of the time. So I think Emma now is going to stir it up, and then you're going to pop it in the tin and top it with the streusel mixture. Is that right, Emma?
Yep, I'll put half of it in the tin and then pop the streusel in, and then pop the other half in and the streusel on top.
Perfect. So layer it up. Amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. We're going to go over to Charlotte now. I'm just conscious that we're running a little bit late. Sorry, before Charlotte starts, Jess is also, her second high heat is finished. And then after that, the only step left on her gyros is just pop all of the chicken back in the bowl and then give it a quick little shred. So she'll do that while Charlotte's slicing up her salad, and then we'll all be finished to plate up. Thanks, Charlotte.
That's okay. So that chicken cooked for 8 minutes, or sorry, the lighting is terrible. It has shredded it a bit, but there still is some chunks, but that's okay. It just says to pour the cooking juices into a small bowl, so that came out easily. And then we're going to go to the next step. And it says leave the chicken in the mixing bowl and pop the measuring cup back in the lid. And now we're just going to shred that chicken. So we're going to do 4 seconds reverse speed 4. Does anyone make the chicken, like steam the chicken, flavour the chicken, and shred it for sandwiches? Or salads. I've done this a few times with a few different flavours. So that's just nicely shredded. So instead of sitting there with a fork doing that, that was, what, 4 seconds? So it just says to pop it into the bowl with the rice. And I'm just going to put the rest of that into the thermo server with the rest of the rice. So that's it there. So I've got the rice and the chicken. And then it says arrange the shredded chicken in a small pile on the cooked rice. Clean and dry mixing bowl. I'll grab my other bowl. Pop that on. And now it says place the bowl onto the mixing bowl lid, and this is going to go through and weigh all your vegetables. But I got all that ready before. So we'll skip over those bits. I'm going to put that there. Need a bigger kitchen. All right, we're going to go next. So it says we're going to use carrots. We're going to use, it says to use cos lettuce, but Woolies subbed me a iceberg, so I'm going to see how that goes. It says Roma tomatoes, make sure they're firm. Mine are a little bit on the soft side, so we'll see how they go. Cucumber, red onion, and an avocado. Mine's a little bit ripe, so we'll see, and like soft, so we'll see how that goes. Set bowl aside with vegetables. All right, so now we're going to do the cutter. Do you want me to keep going and do the cutter now?
Yes, please, just go for it. Yeah, let's just see how quickly you can cut all these veggies for us.
All right. Let's go. So it says to pop the shaft in to the bowl. So that just sits between your blades. You can see if you have one. Can't really see in my screen. You can see where it sits. It just sits in there nicely. And then we're going next. And then place the cutter into the lid. Place cutter lid into position and insert lettuce vertically into the wide part of the feeder. Have I missed a step? Yes, I did. So insert the cutter shaft and basket, which is this part, and then place the cutting disc with the side one slicing side facing up. So on here, it does have a slicing, I don't know if you can see that little number 1, and on the back it is number 2, which is grading. So it's saying to put the number 1 facing up. So it's pretty straightforward. And then we're going to go next. Then we're going to put this on. That sits on there. I'm going to pop the lettuce in. So I'm hoping this lettuce works. This is the iceberg, but it should. I don't see why not. Pop it in there. And then pop the feeder, insert. Very hard to read this way. Wide part of the feeder. So pop it in the wide part of the feeder. There is 2 sections. So into the bigger part, insert the pusher, and in the next prompt, start the motor and press gently. When feeder is empty, press selected as stop, which is just turning it off, and repeat process as needed. All right, and now it says turn selected to thick to start mode. Meanwhile, follow the next step. So we're going to turn that on, and we're just going to sound too good. Went through, I reckon. I'll put the other one through, and then I'll show you what that one is. So we're going to put that one in. We're going to go back to the thick cut. You can choose thick or thin. Stop that one. And then repeat slicing with any lettuce. So I'll show you that lettuce. And then it says to pop it into the bowl. So that's, I don't know if you can see that, that's just nicely shredded, easily done. So I'll pop some in the bowl. And I've just got another bowl here, which I'll put the excess veggies in. I'm not going to worry about cleaning that. Keeps your actual bowl clean too. So it's just this, you just got to get it out. Place the cutter basket and disc back on with the side one facing up, so that's the same. So we're still slicing. And we're going to do the onion this time. So I've just got a red onion. Hopefully it fits in there, yeah. And next, and we're going to turn that to thick again. That's that one done. So now we're going to put the onion in the bowl. So look at that, just perfect slices of onion. That would take you longer than 2 seconds. So pop that in, I'll put the excess here. And then we're going to go next. And we're going to put it back on with that side facing up. And we're going to put the tomato in. Now it's a bit soft, so I'm going to see how it goes. Hopefully okay. So I'm just putting it into the big section again. So we're just using this as a guide, not actually pushing and forcing it down. What's it saying? So we're going to turn it to thick again. That's that one done. And it says repeat slicing with any remaining tomatoes. Perfect. All right. Perfectly sliced. And what, took a second? Pop that into there. And now we're going to go back to that one, and we're going to do do the cucumber. So I just got 1 cucumber. And again to the thick. Press the lid. So that's the cucumber there, nice and thin. Smells nice and fresh. So pop some of them in my bowl. Rest in there. And then we're going to do the avocado. My avocados are a little on the soft side, but we'll give it a go. So it's just out like that, skin off. Might put the big side down first. And then we're going to go to thick again. And it says slice any remaining avocado. So you can always add more veggies if you want. You can even do cucumber. Perfect. Perfect slices of avocado too. Easy. So I'm going to pop that in. And then the rest in the bowl. And then the next one is we're going to swap this out. And we're going to put it on side 2 facing up. And we're going to put it on. Get a tea towel because my hands are a bit wet and the screen's jumping around. All right, now we're going to grate the carrot. I'm going to pop that in just like the other one, and we're going to turn it to thick. And it's going to thickly grate the carrot. So just stop that one. I like this size carrot. I think it's great in a salad. It's a crunch. So that's it there. I'll pop that in the bowl too. And the rest in there. So yeah, add more, less, whatever you like, whatever salad you eat. So now we're gonna, don't forget to remove the shaft out of that. It does tell you on this one, but don't forget, you don't want to chop that up. All right, and now look at that, your Thermomix bowl's clean, so you don't have to clean that.
My favourite part about it.
So, and now we're going to add those reserved chicken juices into here. We're just going to make the sauce for it. And it says 7 sprigs of coriander, leaves only. I wasn't going to go buy a heap of coriander, so I'm going to do some sweet chili sauce. So I'm just going to put a chunk of that in. I like a sweet chili sort of mayo, sweet chili mayo sort of vibe. Half a teaspoon of salt. Some pepper. So you can put whatever you like. If you like lots of pepper, spicy. Yeah, it says 250 grams of yogurt. I'm just going to go half of that because I find I'm probably going to be the only one eating this in my house. I'll have it for lunch for the next couple of days. So some yogurt and then a little bit of mayo. It says 100 grams of mayo, so I'll put 50 in. You could even make like that tzatziki that Jess made. That would go nice with this. It smells nice and fresh. And then we're just going to pop the lid on. Mix that for 15 seconds.
Awesome. So that's all there is to that dressing. So what we might do is we'll go back across to Jess and Emma and see their finished product, and then we'll come back to Charlotte and see her finished product. Thank you, Charlotte. All right, Jess.
All right, so mine's all done. I just thought I'd quickly show you. I've got a bit of browning on the bottom of the bowl here. So all you need to do is pop it on the pre-clean mode on the browning function. So you'll just put in a litre of water, some vinegar, and pop it on there, and it'll come up easily. So I just sort of give you that hot tip. Don't be worried if there's a bit of browning on the bottom. Now that's all the chicken cooked up there. All smells delicious. So you can either serve that with a Greek salad or in wraps. So I've already made one here. So just put some lettuce, some tomatoes, some onion, the chicken on top, and then we've got our tzatziki here. So I'll just put some on top of my wrap here, and it'll be perfect to serve. So this is what we'll be eating for dinner tomorrow night, which is nice and easy. So there we go. Perfect.
So good. That's one of our favourite recipes, that one.
So nice and fresh.
Yeah, there's a beautiful porky rice as well. You can change the protein around in it if you want to. There's a separate one on Cookie Do, but yeah, you can just change it to suit you and your family if you want to. All right,
so
thank you so much, Jess. Oh, before we go, Jess, could you just remind us about your social media again, please?
Yes, so I am Thermilife on the Farm on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you so much for cooking with us tonight, Jess. Yeah, a big thank you, and please go over and give her a follow.
No worries.
Go back to Emma. Oh, look how busy you've been baking in that time.
I know, the magic of it all. So here is the frittata all made. So I've actually baked that in the vacuum seal container.
Very clever.
So I popped that in the oven and baked it earlier today. And then, yeah, you can just actually put the vacuum seal on the top and then pop it in the fridge. So that'll be really handy. You can see it looks so delicious. So I've cut a bit here, and you can see there all the different colours in it. So you know it's good. You know it'll be good for you with all the different colours. And then we've got the blueberry cake, which I've just cut it, and the blueberries are still fairly on the bottom. But yeah, it's nice and kind of crunchy on the top, and you can see the nuts in the middle there. And then I probably serve that myself with a bit of yogurt. Sometimes I've got a lovely creamy vanilla yogurt there that I made, so I'll probably serve it with a bit of that and have it with a cup of tea later.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Emma. Thank you for sharing those beautiful recipes with some beautiful fresh spring fruit and vegetables in those. Perfect for what's coming into season. Emma, could you please remind us of your socials for everyone to give you a follow?
Yep, I'm Red Dirt Road Life on Instagram, and Emma's Country Thermi Kitchen on Facebook. I have a Facebook group, so if you'd like to join that, it's just local people, and I share a lot of recipes and the things I'm baking every day on there, and all my customers are in there. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for cooking with us tonight, Emma. Really appreciate you. Oh, we'll go to Charlotte. Oh, look at that beautiful salad.
Delicious. That sauce is yum. Really nice. That's it there.
Well,
so
that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for showing us the cutter. That was so good to see it all, and so good to see quite a few different ways to use it there. Charlotte, your social media is?
Home Baker Mum on Instagram and Facebook.
That was Home Baker Mum.
Home Baker Mum.
Didn't catch that yet. All right, I need to find my own screen. All right, and here I am. So I have combined all of ours up. So I've got the pasta, which, yeah, I drained in the varoma. I added the peas that were cooking at the same time in there, and then added a little bit of the pesto. So I made quite a bit of pesto. That'll be enough for another meal or two there. Probably 3 even. So added that, combined it all, and have topped it with my poached eggs. So how good does that look? Beautiful. Fresh spring meal. And then I have got my focaccia as well, which also turned out beautifully. Still a bit warm, but you can see hopefully how beautiful and soft and delicious that looks. So I've got a few really great recipes that we've shared with you tonight. We have hoped you've enjoyed it. So like I said before in the chat box, the cutter is available as a host reward until the end of the year. So if you do already have a Thermomix and you are interested in getting a cutter, the host reward is the best way to do it. They are available in the mix shop, but why not get it discounted if you can? So you can grab one as a host reward. The blade cover peeler, which I've used tonight for the pasta and the eggs, is also available as a permanent host reward, as is the vacuum seal that Emma cooked her frittata in, and obviously our normal thermos and bread mats as well. So we have lots of great host rewards. And if you would like to host your own demo, whether it be in person or virtual, please reach out to your consultant and let them know. They would love to help you with that. And for those of you who don't yet have a Thermomix, hopefully you have seen already our mega gift with purchase that is running at the moment. Until Monday next week, if you purchase your TM6, you will get a free cutter, a free blade cover peeler, and a $300 mix shop voucher. So in addition to that, you hopefully have also seen that the mix shop has a big sale running now until 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Victorian time on Thursday, which gives you the ability to add an extra bowl, which you've seen hopefully how useful they are, using that $300 voucher as well to get that free. If you don't have a second bowl and are keen to get one, jump on the sale. There's a big discount on them at the moment, as well as lots of other incredible mix shop products. So jump on there and have a look. But again, thank you so much for joining me. My Facebook and Instagram is Thermo Loving Mum, if you'd like to give me a follow. But thank you again for joining us. We hope that you have learnt something new, have been inspired to try a new recipe or some new things this spring. If you do have any questions, please pop them in the chat box now. You can stay on and ask us, or please reach out to your consultant. They'll be in touch to see if you do have any questions, or if you want to host a demo or any of those things. So thank you again. We look forward to seeing you at our next virtual. If you are interested in joining our team as well, one more little thing. We do have our half-price business kit offer running at the moment. I'm a bit biased, but we have an amazing team and we would love you to be a part of it as well. So if becoming a consultant something you've ever thought about, please reach out and let us know. It's a really great time with that half-price business kit offer. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you all soon. Thank you. Don't forget to pop in the chat box if you've got any questions.